Hi everyone, Richard here at Calvin Wazoo. I've got a lot of stuff to show you today, and so I want to get this video done and starting the upload so that I can go to the record store. I've been buying a lot of stuff. I probably shouldn't go to the record store today, but I was just watching Derek Vaughn's new video, and he was talking about this new Psychedelic Furs album that just came out, and I thought, well, they'll probably have it down at Reckless, and so maybe I can go check it out and be really careful because I've been spending a lot on music lately, and I kind of need to take a breather. But anyway, wanted to quickly go through. Got a lot of stuff, and one of the things that I've been picking up a lot lately is jazz, because I've got my shopping list, and a lot of times I'm at a point in collecting where there are just really specific releases that I want, and if it's a used record, I'm going to be looking for something in good quality, good listenable condition. And a lot of times, I'll find what I'm looking for, but it's in the good condition. This retailer that I visit a lot here in Chicago, Reckless Records, their scoring system, grading system for their vinyl is really solid, and I understand what it means when they grade something a certain way. So with them, I will go down to VG. That's about the lowest I will go. And for the most part, a VG album is going to be a good sounding album. There's going to be some background noise, stuff like that, but I won't go to good because then we're getting into rougher condition. So anyway, a lot of times I'll go into the store and I will not find what I have on my current, most desired list, so to speak. And then I'll start browsing through the jazz section. And the cool thing about the jazz section is that there will be a lot of repressings, particularly in the fusion genre, that are really cheap and in great condition. So I picked this up, all right? This is Stanley Clark, Journey to Love. Damn good album. I mean, it's, we got the song to John, which is split from side one onto side two. It's an homage to John Coltrane. But playing with him on here is, he's got Jeff Beck doing the song Hello, Jeff, and Stanley Clark based in Oregon, and then Lenny White on drums. And let's see, Chick Corea is on the song to John, and John McLaughlin is playing, acoustic guitar. So $4, and almost, it was very good plus. So, and it's a repressing. It's not an OG, but hey, it's perfectly fine for me. I figure out where I'm going to put these after I show them. And then another one in that same genre is this one, Spirogyra, the Catching the Sun. And I remember, this is my first Spirogyra acquisition. I was familiar with them when I was in college, in the 70s, and I really liked their stuff, but I just didn't have any. And so picked this up again, $4. Again, great stuff. Got that saxophone. I mean, the cool thing about this album cover is that, you're looking at it, and then you kind of, when you flip it over, you can see that, it's a saxophone with all these, like these plants all around it. Very, very beautiful. Of course, now this is, again, a reissue, and it didn't come with any, anything else other than what, just this on the cover. So I need to look up some more information about who the players are. I'm not that familiar with them. I'm not sure if it's Wayne Shorter or somebody else. But anyway, yeah, so this was a very, very cool acquisition, and that's the cool thing about, especially in any genre, but particularly sometimes with jazz, you can find really, really good reissues for really, really cheap. And of course, that frees up some. This was another one, Keith Jarrett, My Song, with Jan Garbarek, Pale Danielson, and John Christensen. I've been looking for, the Cone concert for so long, and it's not supposed to be very expensive because it's fairly ubiquitous, but I can never find it. So I looked up in the All Music Guide, what was the rating on this one, and also the rating in Discogs. And this was a highly rated album, and I'm so glad. Again, like $3, and like super great condition. And so the songs are just, I can't, I've only listened to this, I've listened to it a couple times, but, and it was recorded in Oslo, but just really amazing stuff, really like it. Then we got into, some new records in jazz, but again, sounding really good. And the first one was this one, Bag's Groove, Miles Davis. So this is a reissue on this translucent blue vinyl. They say translucent, but it really isn't translucent. It's clear. Translucent is like a frosted window. All right. I mean, this is clear blue vinyl, not translucent. But anyway, part of the Prestige label, and again, just really great stuff. I mean, Sonny Rollins and Milk Jackson and Thelonious Monk is playing with him. Interesting information on the back of the sleeve. This was recorded in 1954. Oh, just amazing jazz. Did I say amazing a lot? This one was the big one. This is part of the Blue Note Tone Poet series, Money Jungle, Duke Ellington, with Charlie Mingus and Max Roach. And I saw this, and I saw that it was part of the Tone Poet series. And, I still got the price tag on it. I paid $29 for it. But, and it's got the full label. But Mazzy, I think it was him. No, it wasn't him. It was somebody else. And the name Michael, I think his name's Michael, somebody of Analog Planet maybe, was talking. He did a show on all the Tone Poet releases of the great jazz, and so I remembered him talking about it. And so when I saw that this was part of that, I thought, all right, what the hell, I'm going to buy it. Oh, solid jazz. Oh, just in a really, really solid and beautiful recording. Good stuff. I mean, when I think of Duke Ellington, I think of him and his big band and orchestra, etc. But dang, he can play the fucking piano, man. I mean, geez. You put Thelonious Monk to shame. Good stuff. And then another one I got is this Idle Moments, Grant Green. This was on my list of jazz albums to get because, I didn't have, and not all that familiar with him or the players on here like Joe Henderson, Bobby Hutcherson, Duke Pearson, Bob Crenshaw, Al Harewood. all right? But again, and then the song, Idle Moments, it talks about how, you know, when they were recording it, that their goal was to create a roughly, I think it was a 6-minute song that they were aiming for. Yeah, they wanted to get it to around 6.5 to 7 minutes. And then they did this first take, and it ended up 15 minutes because the solos, because of the way it started off, each of the soloists ended up doing 32 bars instead of just doing, I think they were supposed to only do 16 for their solo. And they went ahead and did that, and then they re-recorded the song and brought it down to, you know, that 7-minute range that they wanted, and they decided to go with the 15-minute version. And really, really great stuff. I mean, as it says here, a stone cold classic. I mean, you know, Grant Green on the guitar. Although it seems like, you know, he gets the credit, but it just seems like it's Duke Pearson, the piano player, you know, his compositions and kind of his orchestration and leadership of the group. But it's a Grant Green album, and brilliant. It is so sweet. I really, really like it. So those are the new ones that I've been getting recently. Now, last night, I started kind of in the afternoon, and then, you know, went into the night with a little break because, you know, had dinner. I started listening to, again, I did a video about this, the Shadows of Night, the Backdoor Men. This, you know, a garage band, you know, from the Chicago area that really achieved a level of notoriety that I was completely unaware of. And also the album is very cool because it's, you know, the blue and then the Blue Sundays label. But anyway, really, 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 really like this. And then the primary singer, who is Jim Sohns, right? Is that who it is? Yeah. Jim Sohns or Jim Sohns, S-O-H-N-S, has a Facebook page and all that, but his voice reminded me so much of somebody, you know, that took me a long time to figure it out. Television, Marquee Moon, that's what I put on next, because clearly it was, you know, Tom Verlaine that I was thinking of, that Jim Sohns sounded, the voice, and the timbre of the voice. So this put me, you know, kind of in a mood to listen. All right, so what else am I going to listen to? And sometimes, you know, I'll wait until like the last song before I'll make my decision. But then I kind of got in this thing, okay, this was 1977. What else was released in 1977? And so I did a quick check on my phone, and I realized, oh, yeah, some great stuff that I could listen to next. So I went here. I went with Iggy Pop and Lust for Life. This is a reissue, but a very solid reissue. And the label, it's got his photo. This was from the Berlin era when he and David Bowie and Brian Eno were, you know, they were all working together. And then there's a lot of players on here like Carlos Alomar, who also did a lot of, continued to record with David Bowie. And then Hunt Sales and Tony Sales, the Sales brothers, or maybe it's Salas, but I'm going to say Sales. So kind of like his rebirth, so to speak, for Iggy Pop. Great stuff. This was right after The Idiot, which was, I believe, recorded and released the year before. And so sticking with 1977, I went with the Talking Heads. And it was kind of, I forgot about all the other songs on here. I hadn't listened to this in quite a while. And, you know, even the opener, Uh-Oh, Love Comes to Town, it's just, all these songs are just so good. You know, it isn't just Psycho Killer. This is just a really, really solid album. So, you know, that's kind of where I was going. And then I started thinking, okay, you know, I'm really kind of in the mood after listening to these for The Police, their debut. That was 1978, but okay, what the hell. And so, yeah, Outlandis more. I mean, I can remember the first time I heard this. I was living in Tucson, Arizona, and visiting somebody. You know, they had this kind of old house with, you know, a wooden floor with the crawl space underneath. So the floor was, you know, kind of bounced a little bit, you know. So to set up a stereo in a house like that, he suspended his turntable from the ceiling and, you know, put a piece of plywood with, you know, string going up and then tied it into the ceiling, you know, had it all nice and balanced. And that way people walking around in the house, it wouldn't affect the turntable and cause the needle to bounce and whatnot. It was really, really ingenious. So, yeah. The Police, they were my favorite band for such a long, long time. And then I kind of jumped a little further into the 80s and pulled this one out here, the Violent Femmes. I saw them last year in Pittsburgh. They were the opening act for Ben Folds. Ben Folds is not really my cup of tea for music. And then it started to rain. It was an outdoor venue, so we left. But it was a very cool show. I got some of their new albums at that show also, and all the members of the band signed them. And then I closed the night with this, Beetles for Sale. You know, I just had this strong desire to listen to 8 days a week. So I'm like going through my early Beatles stuff because I couldn't remember what it was on. And I'm checking the song list and then, you know, found this. And I was like, yeah. And the cool thing about this is one of the newer remasters that have been released. So it's in mono and such great songs. I'm a loser. It's one of my favorite Lennon songs. And then I'll Follow the Sun. And 8 Days a Week, of course. I mean, these are just also so good. And they sound really, really, really good. Better than perhaps the original monos. And they're so hard to find in good condition. And when you do find them, you know, the price gets jacked up, even though a zillion copies were pressed. You know, it's kind of a screwed up system sometimes the way records get priced. But these new ones, and Hard Day's Night and some of these others have been re-released and remastered, and the remastering is really brilliant. So I would strongly recommend, you know, getting one of these remasters. So that was the end of my listening evening, and I ended up, you know, going to bed. So not too bad of an evening. So, hey, if you got any comments about any of the albums that I showed you, please leave a comment down under, hit the subscribe button, and I hope all is going well with you wherever you may be in these weird times that we are in. But regardless of how weird they may get, we have our music. And so remember to always enjoy your music.